Hey, welcome to Webtematics. In today's video, I have brought you a brand new tool. We'll explore this tool called Laravel Orion, which will help us to build a API in couple of minutes. So it will make the building of API quite easy. What this does is it will create all the CRUD related options like these index search and all these batch store update out of the box. We just need to create a new controller and extend the Orion controller. So we'll see how we do that in this video. First thing first, let me open a brand new Laravel project on VS Code. I haven't done anything else, just created Laravel new Orion. Alright, so to create a API, I have created a post model and migrated that. So we haven't written anything on post table yet. We'll do it together. I've just run PHP artisan make post. Alright, so next thing, this Laravel Orion is a package that we have to include in our project. So let's do that with composer require tailflow Orion. So wait for it to finish. I have already included it. Alright, so once it is done, we will run PHP artisan make model. So you might have already some model to work on. You can create API for that model to manage that particular model. So since this is a fresh project, I have created this post model. So since this is Laravel 8 project, we have this inside model. So let's go ahead to post table migration, create post table and create name and body field. All right. So once that is done, we'll do PHP artisan migrate. Since I have already run this migrate, I will do rollback and then migrate again. You might not have to do that. I have just added some columns to post table. That's why I rerun this migration. Okay, after adding this, we have a post table in our database. Now let's create the API endpoints for creating posts, updating, and doing all sort of CRUD operations for the post. So it's quite easy to do that. Let's go to, let me show you it on documentation of Laravel Orion. If you go to the getting started, you have this simple CRUD example that you can do. You just have to do it on 3 steps. First step is create post controller and extend this controller, Orion HTTP controller. So let's do that. Let's switch back to VS Code. In here you can create new post controller, but I have already created it while running all command. We have all the stuff related to post. So if in your project you have already post controller, you can create another post controller inside new folder. You can call that API. It's all up to you how you organize. I have this post controller, and instead of extending to this controller, we will extend to our Orion controller. So we'll do use this controller, and you can call this as Orion controller. That's it. Okay, after doing this, we don't need all these stuff. If you have created that from using So this is the class that is showing us some error because we have to import something else. Let's go to documentation, and after we have used this Orion controller, then we can define the protected model class like so. Let's do that. So we are telling this controller that this controller should look to this post model class. Okay, that's it. All we require is this, and now our all route are defined. One last thing we need to do is we need to define a route like so. If you go here inside the API.php, we need to define our route. So let's go to API.php inside routes file. Just here we can do like this. So we are grouping as API. We don't need this, but it will just make the namespace from starting from API.posts. So one line we have to add is this. Yeah, we can just add this and everything will work. So we are doing Orion resource. It is same as route API resource. This is provided by Laravel, but we are using Orion, so we are defining our route like so: Orion resource and then name of the route post and then post controller class. So this post controller class will direct to, I think we need to import this like so. Okay, so it is importing something else. We require this class. Okay, so we have post controller, not post controller, sorry about that. So we have imported our just created class post controller, and now if we go to our terminal and php artisan route list, we should see the list of all available routes to us. So we have all these route available: API post and API post batch, search, get particular post. We can even do the batch store, and we can store post like so. All right, so let's go ahead and try it out by hitting API posts in our browser. So first of all, let's run this on browser by php artisan serve. Open this up on browser. Let me open up browser. Okay, so whenever we hit API slash posts, okay, so first thing we get this action is unauthorized, because by default it is checking for post model policy. So policy related to this post model, then it will do all authorization related stuff. So for that to work, we need to create post policy. And for testing, if you don't want to create policies, you can just put I think there is something called disable authorization trait that you can use for testing these out. So in security section of the documentation, you can see here in some situation you want to disable this. Both model rely on model policies to determine whether currently authenticated user is allowed to perform certain action or not. So it will determine if currently logged in user is able to access these. So for now we can just use disable authorization inside our post controller. Let's go to post controller and use this trait disable authorization. We need to import this like so. And now let's go to, and we should see there is no data here. So at least our API endpoint is working. Now let's test a post route. Let's create some post using this API. Okay, now let's try creating new posts. I'm using this Insomnia client. You can use Postman, another popular tool. So in here we are making the post request to this API endpoint, and we are using this JSON body, and we're passing name, first post, and then body. So you can do like so, second post, body for second post. Oops. And now let's send the request. There we go. So we have created this this newly created post, and we got that as a response inside data, like so. So even we can send get request to same endpoint to get all the posts. So all this comes out of the box. You can do multiple things, like you can explore documentation, you can do like filtering, inside search you can do filtering like so. You can even do sorting. So you just need to pass you need to just send request to this endpoint, post search, and then pass this as the parameter, body parameter. Just go to Insomnia and post slash search, and then that will be post request. And how you want to search, you need to specify like this. Suppose I send request like this field, I want to sort by name, and then direction will be ascending. Then we will get oops, I think this is so while trying to sort we get this error, this is invalid, name field is not whitelisted. So there is a security measure that you have to make this sortable, which field you want to make sortable. You have to define that on post controller. So let's go to the controller where we are using all this, and you need to specify which field you want to sort by, so that you should specify here. Okay, so we want to sort by name, so we whitelisted that, and then if we go to our client, there we go, we can just search them by ascending order. So there are a lot of things that you can explore via this documentation. I just wanted to familiarize you with this tool, and yeah, so this is how it works. It is really cool. There are a lot of options that you can explore here. Suppose you want to do the relationship, you want to create comments for particular posts, then you have to create a new controller like so. Everything else will be same. You need to specify the model name, then relation, then it will generate all routes after you define the routes like so. So depending on what kind of relationship it is, you have to define like so, and it will generate all the route, and you can send request, and then you get your desired result. So you don't have to write anything on controller. Only you want to reach out to write a custom query if you have some really custom code that you can easily customize your queries like so. So suppose you want to override this index method query, you have to define override this method on your controller. So like so, let me show you. So there is some example of how they overwritten that, but you can simply override this method. You can even go to controller and just explore this controller, Orion controller, and here you have base controller. There are a lot of code. What we are interested in on index. Suppose they have hidden it inside something really deep. So there is a lot of code. We'll explore that later, but here you can just override this, and then you can write your custom code there. And simply this is for just query part, and this is for running executing the query. So if you want to disable the pagination, or if you want to increase the pagination size or things like that, you will reach out for this run part. And if you just want to alter the query, you reach out for build part. So we'll make a detailed video on this if you are really interested on this tool. So we'll build a complete API using this tool. This shouldn't take much time, and only time you have to invest is for while learning. This is a really cool documentation that you can explore. So there is even example of customizing query part over here for individual endpoint. So build index fetch query. If you want to change something on index part, you reach out for build index fetch query, and then you can just apply whatever query you want to execute or you want to customize. You just need to override like so and return the query. So this is just a query. We are not even executing this query. It will still be default. If you want to change that running query part also, then what you can do is overwrite this method on your controller, post controller, and then you can reach out for pagination. If you want, you can even select the field that you want to display on page, display on the pagination, sorry, response. You can do that. So we can just try it out here in our on post controller. Currently we are getting name body as a response, and run index fetch query. Okay, in this guide we have setting up controller, and if we go here customizing query section, we can customize our query like so. Or suppose we want to only show some attributes in our response, we can run like so. And yeah, let's go ahead and paste this on our code. So I have already did. So make sure once you import this, sorry, you import all the classes before running that on browser. I have did this before and I got this error, could not check compatibility. And if you get something like this, it is because you can get a solution from by reading all this, and it is saying that it is trying to get this class eliminate HTTP request, and because class this paginator is not available, it is trying to search that inside this. So to fix that, you just have to import everything that you are using here. Builder, Control Alt I, eliminate eloquent builder, length aware paginator, like so. Yeah, that should fix it. There we go. So now we are just getting name in response. Similarly, you can control however you like in this run fetch query. it will run the query that is just getting built. So if you want to change the query, you have to tap into this method, build index fetch query. So this is just for index method. So this will generate the query, and this query is executed by this method. So we are overwriting both of these, and then we can do anything in this query. Yes, this is just for index. You can change for show and other methods. For detailed information, here you can see on this section. So exploring all the features will take quite a lot of time, and this is just for getting you started with this new tool, which will tremendously save a lot of time while building API. So hope you like this tool, or if you want to see a full series on this by creating a API using this tool, you can comment down below and let me know, and I'll see you on another video. Bye.